There was no place for me to return to. This was the only place I could go. And now you're leaving, just like that. Why do you have to go? Where are you going?
I mean, the whole thing is totally insane. Mm-hmm. And so, I mean, I agree with you that more and more things are fake. But also, people are seeing through the fakeness of it more and more.
Yeah.
And, you know, the people are getting caught doing it more and more. It's just that it kind of doesn't matter because the power of the people running this matrix at this point is so great. And yeah, it's almost like it's very much like 1984, right? Where it's like it's in your face, but the pressure is on you to conform to the fake reality anyway.
Yeah.
You have to lie to yourself, or else not only will you get in trouble, but then just the pain of having to live with this situation. You know, it's like you have to develop Stockholm syndrome and just go along with it in order to get through your day, because they're throwing it in your face. Like right now, we're going to go to war against the Syrian government with Al-Qaeda rebels, and we're supposed to pretend like that's normal. Like that, like we're not still already in wars against Al-Qaeda right now, and we're supposed to also, go to battle with them.
Humbling down. We want to bring in Mark Walsh, who's a freelancer for Fox. You live just a few blocks away and witnessed.
Dude, I live on the 43rd floor of a building which is 5 blocks from the World Trade Center itself. I witnessed the entire thing from beginning to end.
People talk about how it looked like a movie. I know when I came walking down here early this morning and saw both towers on fire and people on every street corner, it was like a movie. But you watched the planes hit the towers.
I was watching with my roommate. It was approximately several minutes after the first plane had hit. I saw this plane come out of nowhere and just ream right into the side of the Twin Tower, exploding through the other side. And then I witnessed both towers collapse, one first and then the second, mostly due to structural failure because the fire was just too intense.
And they were right at ground zero when it all went down. Can we talk to you? What's your role out here right now?
I'm just standing by right now. Can't say what role I'm playing right now.
Well,
we must stop the terror. I call upon all nations to do everything they can to stop these terrorist killers.
You must help save Israel!
We must help save Israel! We must help save Israel! We must help save Israel!
Thank you. Now watch this drive. All right. Another.
And even if you look at the Genesis story itself in the Bible, there's like hints about it, basically, that the Garden of Eden was kind of this petri dish where these people were grown, you know, to serve some sort of purpose for the beings that existed on the outside of it, you know, and they talk about how Adam and Eve were there to till the garden, you know, basically that their existence had some sort of output that was being used as food by someone else, I would say. And that's kind of the idea that's alluded to in some of the Gnostic scriptures. And then you saw that in The Matrix and even in Dark City, that movie. Where in that movie they're on a like spaceship basically, but people don't know that their world is actually a spaceship, and someone else is manipulating reality from the outside, and they're feeding off of their emotions and things like that, putting them in different situations to create, you know, emotional reactions basically. And so I think that's similar, what they're describing there in Dark City, similar to in The Matrix, how you have the machines on the outside feeding off of the electrical impulses basically created by the people going through the imaginary scenarios in their dream world. And what the Gnostic scriptures seem to be alluding to is that there are beings that are kind of vampiric in nature that created the reality that we're in now and put us inside of it, so that we would create these emotions that they would feed off of. And it seems to be, you know, more geared towards creating negative emotions, I would say, and that those are the sorts of energies that these beings like to feed off of. I think time is one of the most illusory things of this reality, and what's going on in the future is kind of, you can see it if once you get outside of these 4 dimensions, time is part of the 3-dimensional space. When you get up outside of that, you can see where events are leading. You get a broader perspective.
We got our first disturbing look at James Holmes in the courtroom yesterday, and ABC's Dan Harris was right there when it happened. And Dan, what a bizarre scene.
Even before this bizarre spectacle of James Holmes in court with that shock of orange hair and that face looking alternately bug-eyed, bored, or blasted, even before this, police sources tell ABC News that Holmes has been acting in an extremely strange manner ever since he was taken into custody, refusing to cooperate, acting as if he was unaffected by his arrest, and even when officers put evidence bags over his hands to preserve the gunpowder residue, pretending they were hand puppets.
Let's get started right into the saga that is James Holmes, the so-called Batman Massacre. I guess he's just the crazy nut now. But now we've learned that he has DARPA connections in his past. So let's just go over these real quick. In fact, they go all the way back to his grandfather. James Holmes was one of 6 recipients of the National Institutes of Health Neuroscience Training Grant at the University of Colorado Anschutz Medical Campus in Denver. That was found by Wayne Madsen. The medical campus is recently decommissioned site for the U.S. Army's Fitzsimmons Army Medical Center and is named after Philip Anschutz, the billionaire Christian fundamentalist oil and railroad tycoon. Furthermore, Holmes also worked as a research assistant intern at the Salk Institute of the University of California at San Diego. Now, he did this in high school. And the Salk Institute teamed up with DARPA, Columbia University, the University of California at San Francisco, and the University of Wisconsin, Wake Forest, and the candy bar company Mars to prevent fatigue and combat troops through enhanced use of a blood-flowing, dilating antioxidant flavanol found in cocoa. So they made this magic chocolate that would keep troops going all the time. And so there's your first DARPA connection. The second one, in addition, James's father, Dr. Robert Holmes, worked for the San Diego-based HNC Software Incorporated, a company that worked with DARPA to develop chronic neural networks that enable machines to translate oral and visual stimuli and stimulate human thinking. But it doesn't stop there. The Holmes family appears to have deep connections to the military-industrial complex. Lieutenant Colonel Robert Holmes, grandfather of James Holmes, was a Turkish language graduate of the Army Language School, and later the Defense Language Institute in Monterey, California, the same installation, incidentally, where alleged 9/11 hijacker Saeed Aladmi supposedly trained. So you got all these deep DARPA connections with James Holmes. You see him in court. His eyes are bugging out of his skull. He looks totally detached from reality. Nobody seems to be questioning that, at least in the mainstream media. Everybody else is wondering, what's this guy on? But, of course, there's nothing there.
Thanks, Claire. All right, our next speaker is James Holmes. He has, what school did you graduate from?
Westview High School?
He just graduated from Westview High School and will be attending the University of California, Riverside. He will be majoring in neuroscience. His goals are to become a researcher and to make scientific discoveries. It's a good start. In personal life, he enjoys playing soccer and strategy games, and his dream is to own a Slurpee machine. These kids have been fun to work with this summer.
Test.
He won't let you show unless you can hear it.
Really? Oh, okay. Well, the lab I work in is the Computational Neurobiology Lab, or CNL for short. CNL is very computer-oriented. Basically, everybody who works in CNL does programming of some sort. One division of the lab, called M-Cell, does mathematical models of the cell, such as that picture there. There's also computer simulations of hippocampal functions and neural network firings. And the knowledge that's gained is then made available to the public and the scientific community through the web. My mentor, John Jacobson, who works in CNL, is a philosophical type of guy. He's interested in how we perceive reality, specifically grapheme perception. And graphemes are basically just letters of the alphabet. And he wants to know how graphemes are mediated in spatial frequency channels. He also studies subjective experience, which is what takes place inside the mind as opposed to the external world. I've carried on his work in dealing with subjective experience. I've done it through Flash programming. Flash is set up to make movies. There's a timeline, which is on the top there. And within the timeline, there are layers, and layers give the movie order and structure. And within the layers, there are frames, and text, images, and code can be placed in the frames to make the movie do things. And my main task was to write code. And I was writing code to show how our perception of causality can be tricked. And a major way humans learn is through action and effect relationships. And to simulate this on a computer, we have a key press as an action, and the effect is the appearance of an image. And actions and effects have logical progressions through time. That is, effects proceed or seem simultaneous with the actions that cause them, unless we have a temporal order judgment reversal, which I just call the illusion. And in the illusion, the effect seems to precede the action that it causes. So subjectively, you're causing events to happen in the past. And to implement this illusion, we insert a series of gradual delays in between the actions and the effects. So we'd have a key press, and then a 10 millisecond delay, and then an image appearing, and then a key press, and then 20 millisecond, and then an image appears. And we keep doing this over and over again. And it would increase up to around 200 milliseconds. And we do this gradual delay incrementations to adapt the person to modify their perception of time. And then after we modify their perception of time, we completely remove the delay, and this causes the time illusion. And potential applications for this illusion are in reducing car accidents. And it might be possible to increase the reaction times of drivers. Also, another application is in the entertainment industry, like video games. And my mentor came up with the video game one, not me. So gamers might feel like they have a superpower, and that might let them have more fun. So lastly, I'd like to thank John, CNL, Sloan Center, Homesteaders, and family. If they want to give me an allowance bonus, that's good too. Any questions? Nope. Oh, you just spinning.
Rules, but that means there's a writer. Somebody is writing those rules. Who is it?
Well, it could be one being. It could be a multitude of beings. I think that it's us, in a way. You know that some.
Then you would have to create yourself.
Was written ahead of time.
But then then you'd have to create yourself.
Yes, that's the idea that you probably did. You know, you were on the outside, the real you created a fake you to play, and you know, and that's you are the fake you right now. You're playing the game, and part of what results from playing the game is the changing of reality according to, you know, yes, rules that were set up ahead of time, but also whatever you choose. You know, there's an element of free will here. There's an element where you're choosing things and bringing them about. So I think that on the one hand, you probably had something to do with it in the beginning, creating the rules, and then now that you're in the game playing it, you're still creating it, and you're creating it in ways besides just what the conscious decisions you're making. You're also influencing it with your unconscious and subconscious thoughts as well.
Alright, now change back to right now. I'm coming from the manager. Hi, Riley. No, that's not you say hi. Say hi.
Hello.
Daddy Jamaica.
Wagwan.
And this is Lex Lucas. Lucas. He just went to Jamaica. Where went Lucas? Turn that See, what's your name? What's your name?
You see what you're doing? You're so wrong.
Well, why do I hate you? This is a very beautiful young girl. But she's so scared. She's so shy. She's from Britain. Yeah. And this is a crazy guy. He's so crazy, but you know what? He makes money. That's amazing.
You drive some actuals?
No, I'm a Jamaican. Outside my window. It's where I work.
Not make money for the night.
Hey, John, I can say hello to me? I said it done too. No, I'm an actor. Yes. Alright. Well, why did you do that, man, David? I mean, I gotta get the pension and all. I mean, what are you doing?